I was in a relationship with my ex for almost 3 years. I found out from his friend that he was cheating on me behind my back, such as sleeping with girls he knew from the past and ex-girlfriends. I always had a suspicion and deep fear that he was cheating on me when we were together, because I would find messages from girls on his phone and the many times that he lied. I confronted him over ABD over again about all of the things I found on his phone, but he lied and even tried to make it seem like I was the one who did something wrong because I had looked through his phone. He knew that I was vulnerable, insecure, and easy to take advantage of because I struggled with my body image and self-esteem. He was also my first boyfriend and the guy that I lost my virginity to. He knew I had no one to run to since I made him a priority. I didn't talk to my friends and didn't spend much time with my family because every day that I get off of work, I would rush home to get ready to go see him and spend the night with him. I would literally do anything for him so that he would stay with me. Many times I stayed at his house and cooked, cleaned, and did his laundry like a wife, but he doesn't appreciate that. He continued to make me feel small by criticizing me about everything. He knew I was afraid to lose him, and he made me afraid of him. He had many previous relationships before me, and he knew that he was my first and only serious boyfriend. I was an easy target for him, for he knew how to manipulate me. The first time that I found out he was cheating was when we got into a fight and broke up. He then went to the club with his friends later that night. He got into a fight with someone at the club and called me in the middle of the night to come over and spend the night with him. I told him I couldn't because I had to work early, so he slept with a girl that was friends of his roommate. Since then, I should have ran as fast as I could and not look back, but I chose not to because I felt ashamed that I had lost my virginity and that no guy will ever love me. I also had so many flaws and insecurities at that time. We talked about how he could do something like that to me the next day, and his reason was we broke up. He slept with someone else right away after we broke up? I still couldn't wrap my head around this, but I felt like I needed to stay with him because he was my first. Don't ever look at it that way, girls. When someone proves time and time again that he doesn't love and respect you, you are not obligated to stay. It's not worth it. The next time I found out he cheated on me was with an ex-girlfriend. He and I got into a horrible argument and he messaged his ex-girlfriend. This all happened the next day. He took her out and invited her to spend the night. I found out only by looking at his phone, and this was a girl that I had knew, so I asked her about what happened between them, because I felt like he was not telling he the truth. He said that they were just friends, even though I saw a flirty message from her to him about wanting to cuddle together. I questioned him about what had happened that night, and he just lies and lies. He said that nothing happened between them and that they just hung out. I didn't believe his story because I had talked to this girl beforehand, and she told me they had sex. After questioning him about it for over an hour, he finally said that she gave him a blowjob. That was all. That turned out to be a lie. But I still choose to be with him because we had been together for almost 2 years at that time and that I was afraid to start over. We had so much ups and downs during our relationship, but I had never been unfaithful, and how he could do this to me over and over again really makes me feel depressed and that I wasn't good enough so he could treat me any way he wanted to. Since I had found out about him cheating by looking at his phone, he decided to change his passcode and said that it wasn't right for me to look through his phone without asking him. Even when I asked to look at his phone, his answer would be no, even though he said that all I needed to do was ask. The next time he cheated on me was with someone he had been sleeping with on and off since he was with me. After a very bad fight sometime later, we broke up but was talking and working things out like he said, but he was just saying that as an excuse and a reason to keep me on the side while he can sleep around and search for a new girlfriend. I confronted him about him cheating because I saw a weird message on his Facebook. I came over to his house and demanded to get my things. Things got heated and he fucked _____, and I began to slap him and screamed, "How could you do this to me?" I couldn't help but cry. We exchanged words and then he proceeded to kick me really hard as I was pulling on his coat and screaming. I thought that was the final straw, but I didn't leave him since we were together for over 2 years then. I agreed to forgive him, but deep down I couldn't trust him. Every time I left for work, I would think he is sleeping with someone else. I was very attached to the relationship and vowed to do anything to make it work. I gave him another chance only to find out he was cheating on me way before we broke up. He got very sick, lost his job, and had to get 2 different operations. Through both of his surgeries, I took care of him and stood by his side. I slept overnight in the hospital both times and even missed work just to take care of him. Things became good between us as we were almost reaching 3 years together, but he moved away. Before he moved away, he was talking to other girls behind my back and broke up with me the day he was moving away. Once he got to the new state, he immediately got a new girlfriend, and when it didn't work out, he begged to come back to me. Like a fool, I took him back even though I had doubts about us working out. When we got into arguments a short time later and broke up, he wasted no time talking to other girls. I found out he was talking to someone in Honduras and was even sending this girl money. He lives with one of her relatives. During all of this, we were still together. I had to get an operation and was counting for him to be there for me, the way I was for him, but he didn't care because he and the girl he had been talking to had been dating even before he and I broke up. I was so mad, so I posted the whole ordeal to his Facebook. He came back to the state that I live in visiting friends and tried to get me to take off everything on his social media by saying that we can work things out if I delete everything. He was just lying. As soon as I deleted everything, he stopped talking to me. I am so disgusted about how someone can do something like this to another human being, and there are still days when I feel so depressed, bitter, and resentful. Later I found out while he was talking to this Honduras girl, he was sleeping and talking to someone else behind her back. The same thing he did to me. I am so hurt by everything he has done to me, and sometimes I blame myself for not leaving, but I am learning slowly how to let go and move on. I hope that my story can help someone out there. If someone doesn't love you and isn't afraid to show you that, let them go. The sooner the better. Don't put yourself through hell just trying to get someone to love you. For the longest time, I felt beyond depressed and very empty, but I'm getting better. Never settle. Love yourself first, and you will eventually find someone who will love everything about you. We're just humans, so don't beat yourself up. And when someone cheats on you, it has a lot to do with their lack of character and empathy. Karma is real, and God can see. The next story you'll hear will be about how a 10-year relationship faces problems due to infidelity, lack of communication, and a dull sex life, and how the couple works to overcome these obstacles to strengthen their relationship. How do I start this? Well, I've been dating my fiancé for about 10 years now. We've been engaged for 2 years, and the wedding is coming up soon. She's a phenomenal woman, smart, funny, athletic, you name it. She's a very well-rounded person. We've been dating since high school, and we've watched each other grow up to be pretty decent individuals. We both have multiple college degrees, make good money, have nice things. I even bought a house for us in which we both live in together with our dog. Over our time dating, I cheated on her, back when I was young and dumb. We worked it out and moved on, but every now and then, old wounds become raw again, and it seems she still has a problem with it. Not saying she doesn't have every right not to. Till this day, I've always blamed the incident on my hormonal youth. The last few years has thrown my conclusion to my infidelity to the curb, though. I'm older, more mature, and know better, but I still find myself flirting with tons of women. I find myself flirting with women when I'm out with friends or even on social media. I've flirted with at least 20 women throughout my time in our relationship. Although I don't take it too far to the point of having sex, but I've made out with a handful of women, not saying that isn't cheating either. I don't know what's wrong with me. I love her, no doubt. Hell, I even spent thousands extra on a ring for her just to make sure she likes it. I try to listen to her, tell her how beautiful she is, take care of things for her, surprise her with fun dates and activities, clean the house so she doesn't have to spend too much time on chores. You name it. I don't see myself settling down with any other woman other than her. My fiancé is attractive, smart, and caring. Most of my friends wish they had a woman like her in their lives. But somehow I feel like there is a part of our relationship that isn't working. Our sex life is okay, it's not by far the best, but it's beautiful when it happens. We were hot and heavy back in the day, but for the last 2-3 years we have sex about once a month. Sometimes I think she agrees to do it because she thinks I'll go find it somewhere else, which I wouldn't at all. When I flirt with other women and they tell me what they're into down for, or I listen to the sex escapades my buddies share, I realize how Medicare our sex is and how much I want to try these other things. I've tried taking it a bit further by telling her what new things I want to try, but it's pretty difficult when you can't even get a yes to sex, let alone spice things up. Outside of the bedroom, she's so focused on the tasks at hand and everything else to the point where she forgets about me. I try to give her kisses here and there, but she doesn't respond to it. I try to hold her hand, but she somehow wants to wiggle out of it or keep her phone in her hand. I'm a pretty decent-looking guy. I work out, I dress nice, I keep myself well put together, and I get more looks, smiles, and compliments from other women more than I get from her. The most I get from her most of the time is nice shirt. Maybe I'm just asking for too much. She's my love, and if she feels like she doesn't need to compliment me, then that should be fine. I'm not going to force her. I try not to be some nagging dude, but it'll be nice to have a woman show her affection every now and then. Just the way women love when a man showers them with all that good stuff. I know I'm not some saint that deserves all the good of a relationship, but I feel like even if I was, something still feels like it's missing. Is this why I find myself responding to other women's passes? Because I get cold responses from my finest? Am I some freako who can't keep his damn hands to himself? I just need some insight on this. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and like this video if you like it. Also put a bell so you don't miss new videos. See you soon.